Through dangers untold and hardships unnumbered, I have fought my way here to the throne room, beyond the Azios wilderness, to take back the weapons you have stolen from the Keeper. For my will is as strong as yours, and my kingdom is great. You have no power over me. Except the 6th boss in Core Keeper has considerable power that not only requires all your mental energy to pay attention to the fight, but a lengthy preparation process to get the best foods, potions, and weapons to defeat them. It seems an odd place to start a review at the end, but in Core Keeper's case, it's an excellent one, as beyond my viewpoint for this review, it truly is a game that will take you on a long and winding journey that's current end is well deserved and rewarded. So back to the beginning we go. Core Keeper is a 2D top-down RPG that is clearly heavily influenced by games like Terraria, Minecraft, Shovel Knight, and Stardew Valley. You are spawned into a world with a very clear starting objective. Activate the core by defeating 3 bosses and claiming their power sources. To do this, you will mine and bridge your way through the world, encountering different biomes, monsters, and resources. The first 3 are the Dirt Biome, the Clay Caves, and the Forgotten Ruins, each of which getting progressively harder in that order. Along the way, you will discover Gulch the Abominous Mass, Gorm the Devourer, and the Hive Mother, each a formidable boss with a unique encounter that you will need to craft advanced gear and multiple sets of food in order to survive. Upon completing the core 3 bosses, you will awaken the core that will vest you with the power to remove the metal walls that block your progression to the next biomes. Here, you will be able to find more advanced resources and take on the next 3 bosses, which will drop the best gear currently in the game. With the game's core premise out the way, pun intended, let's look at the features that accompany this game to create gameplay and progression. The game has an extensive crafting system for both food and gear that will have you exploring and crafting all the way to the end of the game. Crafting will require you to build different workstations and smelt the different ores that you come across. This will unlock better armor, weapons, and pickaxes to take on more difficult monsters and mine even more advanced metals. The game has a very comprehensive and rewarding cooking system. There are a total of 5 farmable vegetables, plus fishing and some bought food that can all be combined in a cookpot to make the 8 core different combinations of food. Each food type provides a different bonus to your character's attributes. You have a huge variety in combinations of farmable and harvestable food, all of which is most definitely required for boss fights and those difficult encounters or exploration missions. The final system that needs to be mentioned that defines the game's mechanics is the skill point system. As you progress through the world, each action contributes to a skill point system that will give you huge bonuses to damages, crafting, farming, running, and fishing. The more you do these actions, the more points you gain, so you can grind out a specific skill point tree to get the best advantages possible. With the premise of the game laid out, let's talk about the good parts. First, I want to mention level design. I am personally a huge fan of using procedural generation to randomize worlds. It immediately provides an individual experience that can be shared, but is always different. Repeatability is what game designers strive for in everything, but the catch is to make it almost invisible so the players don't feel it. And in Core Keeper's case, the level design has hit this spot on. The game employs this circular system which works really well. The 3 beginner biomes are generated as thirds of a circle, almost as a metaphor for something whole and well-rounded, possibly only missing the 0.14159 of a number that could be used to describe its technical genius in a programming sense. There is a nuanced balance of direction and randomization in this circular world that guides you, but also invites you to explore each section as they overlap and intertwine. Next, I wanted to talk about the game's subtly addictive nature. Just when you think you have finished or done everything in the game, there is seemingly more content or other hidden tasks that can be completed. I've caught myself on countless occasions saying to myself, well, I've come this far, I might as well complete it, only to be pleasantly disappointed that there's more content even after that. I wanted to talk about the soundtrack for this game as well, as I would describe it as a mix between a great action-adventure game and a film from Studio Ghibli. It's an original score that really helps to set the world and give you a sense of presence in the game. If anything, I would actually criticize the tracks for almost being too short given the addictive nature of the game. Each one paints a picture of a different biome that creates a mood which flows from one section to the other. As of writing this review, I have 40 plus hours logged in the game, and I still haven't gotten the legendary poison sickle or the top tier armor. And the game's in early access with more content to come. And even in the early access tier of games, this is an unbelievably polished game for its recent release. So much so, I would be very happy if it was just a full release. And the fact you know there's more to come almost incentivizes you by preparing you to grind out those difficult fights to get the top tier loot in preparation for the next sections of the game. So, moving on, we have to talk about criticism, but to be honest, this is going to be a very short section. The 5th boss, I'm sure, will get a summoning idol in the subsequent updates, but I'm sure I'm not alone in the painstakingly boring process of tunneling deep into the Azios wilderness to find the 5th boss. Although there is a sense and relief in finding it, as it really hits home as an accomplishment in getting to this point. The Mold Dungeon is currently the most dangerous biome on the map, which is understandable as it provides a real challenge to players. But as I see the game has a hardcore mode available, the Mold Dungeon seems hardly worth the risk. This is because when monsters respawn in the Mold Dungeon, they do so in big packs that can also aggro from a long distance away. I'm not sure if this is currently a bug or an intended feature, but in any case, if you're too deep without an escape route, it's almost inevitable that you will die. The final criticism I have revolves around fishing, another thing that currently doesn't seem balanced in the game. The time spent and distance travelled to get even the most moderately good fish for recipes is exponential compared to the other food types you're able to farm, buy, or find in the game. When it comes down to it, there is really only one fish that you need late game, and even then, it's optional. I managed to complete all the bosses without needing to fish at all, nor would I justify the time in even exploring some of those recipes. However, this just might be a personal bias from a bitter disappointment of fishing in real life. Hopefully, time will tell with this one. So, in closing, I have thoroughly enjoyed my time in Core Keeper, and like Shovel Knight and Terraria before it, I think it will be immortalized in gaming culture as a well-rounded, fun, and addictive 8-bit 2D RPG that puts to shame some of the modern-day AAA titles. My one-liner for the game would be as follows: a refreshingly complex and engaging 2D RPG that has so much hidden content, but I'm still hungry for more. Let me know what you thought about this review in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and until next time, peace. Before the outro video, I want to give a huge shout out to all my supporters, especially the ones on Patreon. You mean the world to me and allow me to keep doing what I'm doing. Thank you.
Na na na.